I don't think I'm ready for the emotional roller coaster I'm about to go on this week. Welcome back. If you're new, my name is Kristen, and you reached my little corner of the internet. Sorry for the appearance. I'm not wearing any makeup. I could not have been bothered to put on makeup today, even though I probably should have because I needed to film a couple TikToks today, but I didn't, and now we're here. It's also 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm just now starting this little reading vlog. Whoops. But if you couldn't tell from the title of today's video, we are reading infamous Sara Carrolli's favorite books for a week. Oh my gosh. And in true Sara fashion, we have a matcha. I need to take a sip. I haven't taken a sip yet since I made it, so I need to take a little sip. Hold on. She kills it again. But yes, we are reading Sara Carrolli's favorite reads for a week. I am so excited. Well, actually, I already started one of the books last night. But we'll talk about that in a second. I mean, I guess we can talk about it now. There's really not much else I need to say for this intro. We're reading her favorite books for a week, and I am a little bit scared because Sara, like me, just loves gut-wrenching emotional reads, and that's what all these books are this week. And we're starting off with a bang with one of her favorite books that ever since I started watching her, she always talks about, like, any chance she pretty much gets to bring up this book, she will. It's not Magnolia Parks. I've read Magnolia Parks. We know, like, the love Sara has for Magnolia Parks. I've read all of them except for Into the Dark, which is a crime, and I need to read that book. But anyways, Ghosted by, I don't know who it's by, JW, I need to hold on. Sorry, not JW, JM. Hey, dyslexia. J.M. Darhauer, and I'd never heard of this author until Sara had read Ghosted forever ago, and I have been meaning to read it for the longest time, and I'm finally sitting down and reading it for this week, and I started it last night. I read the first 100 pages. Mind you, I know Sara had talked about this book, like, she's talked about it so much, but I had forgot, like, what it was about, and I didn't even read the summary before I started the book last night, and then I read the summary, like, 70 pages in, and I was like, oh, yeah, this book is for me. So it is childhood, teenage friends to lovers to strangers. Wow, he's a famous actor and she is the mother of his child, and I have yet to discover how that came about. We're still learning so much about the two characters, but they are parents, but they are not together anymore. It is a mess, and I'm living for it. So yeah, I started it last night, and I am loving every single second of it. I could not put it down last night, and then suddenly was 11 p.m. and I was like, I need to go to bed. I wish I could stay up and read this. I put it down, and I actually haven't read a single page today, so we need to dive into it and read some more today. But I want to talk about the rest of the books I kind of have on my radar for this week. I have the audiobook for The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I should have started it today on my walk, but I was prioritizing something else at the moment, so I do want to read or listen to it on my walk tomorrow and hopefully get a start on that book, because I know that's one of Sara's favorite books as well, and I've never read a Kristen Hanna book, and I knew when I wanted to start reading Kristen Hanna that the first book I wanted to read by her was The Nightingale, so I feel like this fit all really well together, so I want to start The Nightingale this week. And on my July TBR, and is also one of Sara's favorite books, is Beartown by Frederick Bachman. Oh my gosh, also still haven't read a Frederick Bachman book, and I feel like, again, if I want to read a Frederick Bachman book, the first book I should read is probably Beartown. So very excited to start that as well. But right now the priority is Ghosted, and I am so excited to keep reading it today and hopefully finish it tomorrow. That's really ambitious because it's almost 500 pages, and we'll see how far I can get today. At least halfway today, and then we'll see how much I can knock out tomorrow. But we're going to continue reading right now, and I'm talking really fast because I just sipped some matcha and I have caffeine in my system now. All right, let's cue a montage and get to some reading. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Hey guys. Happy Tuesday. It is the next day. What did I leave you off on? Oh, last night I was reading more of Ghosted, and then this morning on my walk, I started The Nightingale. Holy heck. That book, listening to that book, I was gonna say every time I listen to that book, I've only listened to it once today, and it was on my walk this morning. But listening to that book, like, some points I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so cute and heartfelt, and at other points I'm like, my goodness, this is devastating and so sad, and I'm only 13% of the way through the book. So still a lot more to go on that book, and I'm enjoying it so far for the 13% that I've listened to. And then I haven't read any more of Ghosted today. I've been filming TikToks all day long, hey. But I haven't read any more of Ghosted. I want to get to more of it right now, actually, after I finish filming this clip. I am 70% of the way done, so I'm almost done with Ghosted. I think I have like 100-ish pages left. So I definitely want to finish it today, hopefully, and then start Beartown tomorrow. But yeah, really good progress on that book. I'm very happy with how it's going. I'm low-key obsessed with it. I don't know what it is about, like, just toxic second chance love. It's just really good. And I can see why Sarah loves Magnolia Park so much after, I can see why Sarah loves Magnolia Park so much, because after reading majority of Ghosted, Magnolia Parks, I feel like is on a different level, but Ghosted is like right up there with some of the toxicity, and we have still yet to uncover what actually happened between Jonathan and Kennedy. So I am in for a wild ride, I'm sure. I am expecting tears, but we will see. And I'm scared, I'm nervous, I'm excited, and I can't wait to keep going. But those are some updates I have for those two books, and I will maybe be back with another update soon. Hopefully, I should be. Yeah, this vlog isn't over yet. It's far from over. We gotta keep going. All right, we're gonna keep reading Ghosted. Hey guys, happy Wednesday. So yes, it is officially Wednesday. How many more times can I say that it's Wednesday? It's Wednesday, okay. I have you propped up on my computer because I've actually been editing this vlog for the last like 15-ish minutes just to get a jump start on it. But a few updates, oh my gosh, some reading updates. So I officially finished Ghosted today. What the heck? And if you follow me on Goodreads and Fable, you would know that I did, because I inputted my star rating for it on both of those apps. So you can friend request me on Goodreads and follow me on Fable. I will follow you back on Fable and accept your friend requests on Goodreads. So go ahead and do that if you want. But I officially finished Ghosted, and I had originally given it a 4.25 out of 5, but after sitting on it for the last 5 hours since I finished the book, I'm bumping it to a 4.5 because, wow. Is the storyline anything revolutionary? No. Is the writing anything revolutionary? No. Is this probably one of my new favorite comfort books? Yes. I don't know what it is about these kind of books that just have, first of all, childhood friends to lovers, second chance romance, and just something about like toxicity in it is just all wrapped up into one book. I'm sat and I am there, and I will probably rate the book over 4 stars. Like, I finished that book 5 hours ago and I already like miss these characters and want to read it again for the first time. Like, that is insane behavior. I'm very happy I read this. I've been wanting to read it ever since I saw Sarah mention it for the first time on her channel, and I just never got around to it. And finally, after 3 years of reading, I am finally reading this book. Well, I already read it. It's really good, by the way. In case I haven't said that. But this book was so good. It wasn't anything life-changing by any means. It's just, I don't know, I just vibed with it and it was so good. And that's, you know, with reading, that sometimes that's all you need. It doesn't need to be some whole big in-depth review, like the writing was this, there was a plot hole here, etc., etc. No, this book, I loved it. I vibed with it. It was comforting. I could just curl up and read it, and hours could pass by and I wouldn't have even realized while reading this book. And that's sometimes the kind of book that you need. And I think what made this book so interesting too is the way that it was told. I had not realized it was past and present timelines, but the way that JM, I'm gonna call her JM, the author, JM, the way that she presented these two timelines, so unique, so different. I've never seen anything like it before in a book, and I ate it up. It was great. 4.5 for Ghosted. I honestly didn't really expect anything less. I knew I was gonna love it. It was really teed up for success, and it delivered for sure. Moving on to the next reading update I have is I started The Nightingale, the audiobook, yesterday and continued it today on my walk this morning. I'm only 20% of the way through and I'm struggling like a little bit. I'm glad I'm listening to it and not physically reading it, because I feel like my eyes would just like gloss over the words if I were reading it. So I'm very happy I'm listening to it. It sounds like a podcast and I'm enjoying listening to it. Right now, I think my struggle point is caring about the story that I'm reading, because right now I feel like there's no point to the story that I'm reading, which is a little bit harsh to say because this book takes place in France during World War II. So that is a little but I know this book will get better. It's my first Kristen Hannah book, so I am hoping for the best and giving Miss Hannah the benefit of the doubt here. And I know that the book is going to progress into something greater because I also saw Larry. She read this book as well and was sobbing. So, and I feel like her and I kind of also have similar book tastes. So I know this book will get better, and I just have to keep pushing through. I think I'm gonna listen to more of it actually right now and play my comfort cozy game, Good Pizza, Great Pizza. But also I started Beartown today, which was super exciting. I'm only like 50-ish pages in, which is not a lot to gauge an opinion at the moment, but I'm enjoying it, I think, a little bit better than The Nightingale. Right now with Beartown being so early in the book, I like that there's a point to the story at the moment, and it's actually kind of funny to, I don't want to say relate to the passion of hockey in Beartown. It's like, there was this one like line in there that the wives of all the husbands in Beartown are like, I wish my husband would pay attention to me as much as he pays attention to like Beartown hockey, because it's about a bunch of teenagers playing for their local hockey team. And I thought that was just kind of funny because my boyfriend does the same thing with college football, and he cares about a bunch of 18-year-olds playing football sometimes more than me. Just kidding. No. But he gets very passionate about these literal children playing college football. And I mean, I love it too. I love college football, but it's like kind of funny. And I read that line and I was like, I see where they're coming from. I've been enjoying Beartown so far, and I'm excited to read more of it tonight. I know I will before bed, but I think right now I'm going to continue The Nightingale and make a bigger dent in it because this week is going by really fast. And again, this vlog has to go up on Sunday, so hopefully I need to finish The Nightingale and Beartown before Sunday. So gonna continue that right now. Those are all the updates I have. To sum it up, very extremely impressed, happy, satisfied with Ghosted, struggling a little bit with The Nightingale, enjoying Beartown. That's the summary of this little clip. All right, gonna keep, I don't want to say trudging along. That sounds like I'm just like suffering through this. No, I'm gonna keep going, gonna keep reading. So, or listening actually right now. I'm yapping now. All right, see you in a little bit. what? I just finished The Nightingale. Oh, immediately, I think I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5. Like, that was insane. Hello? Not gonna lie, I said this earlier in the vlog. It took me a couple chapters to kind of get into the story a little bit and start to care. But like, I think like 30% into the book, I was like, okay, this is gonna be good. And I trusted the process. It was so good, so worth it. And I didn't realize how like thick she actually was. There was a ton of room for story in here, and it's all written like just, oh my gosh. I am so happy with this book. I am on the Kristen Hanna hype train. I can't wait to read more of her stuff. The Woman is technically on my July TBR, so we'll see if I have time to get to it. But wow, I think I really like historical fictions now, which is absolutely insane. I never thought I would say that ever in my life, but I just loved the storytelling in here, and it felt so real, which is crazy. And the way Kristen Hanna is just so immersive and imaginative in her storytelling, it is just insane the way she wrote this book. And I truly felt like part of the story, which is crazy. And I think listening to it, and I listened to it and sometimes read while I was listening to it, and that just completely helped like lock me into the story and focus, because sometimes it can be a little bit hard to focus with historical fictions, at least for me, because it's kind of a new genre to me. So I'm very glad that I listened and physically read at the same time, and it made the experience, I think, 100 times better. So yeah, very happy with this. I'm very glad I read it. More thoughts to come in my July reading wrap up at the end of the month, but I am still reading Beartown, and it is Saturday night, and this vlog needs to go up tomorrow. So I do plan on reading more of Beartown tonight. I just don't know how far I'm going to be able to get. I am 57% of the way through chapter 31, page 243. So out of 422. So we're climbing the hill. I don't know how far I'll get to tonight. We'll see how fast I read, but I'm really liking it so far. A major plot point just came to fruition, and I'm absolutely shook and don't really know what to do right now. It was definitely something I did not see coming at all, and I am I'm thrown. But I just ordered some dinner, so it is coming right now, or it's already here and I need to go get it. But after that, I think I'm gonna read. And also, I really want to watch The Summer I Turned Pretty. It came out this week and I haven't started it yet, so that's also kind of a priority for me tonight. I have such a fun Saturday night planned. So I'm gonna go eat dinner and then hopefully continue to read Beartown. But that is the update for now, and I'm absolutely the worst YouTuber ever because the last clip I took was on Wednesday and I didn't film on Thursday or Friday, so we're just thriving. Okay.
Hey, it's Monday and this vlog was supposed to go up yesterday. It took me a little bit longer than anticipated to read these two books, and going into it, I knew reading Beartown and Nightingale was going to be a little bit daunting because they are both quite heavy-hitting books, but it just took me so long to read them, especially because I was listening to the Nightingale, which takes a little bit longer, and then reading Beartown, we'll get into it. First off, Ghosted. Loved Ghosted. 4.5 star, like I said at the beginning of this vlog when I finished it. I think my favorite book to come out of this reading vlog. Definitely loved it. It's my type of book. Second chance romance, childhood friends to lovers. Like, it was the perfect book and just what I was craving, and it satisfied that craving. Now with the Nightingale, I listened to it in its entirety. I didn't read it. I did listen and read at some points, but I was mainly focusing on listening to it, and I am so glad I did that. I don't know if I want to do that with every Kristen Hanna book that I read, but I did enjoy it a little bit more listening to it, I think, just because it sounded so like emotional and almost like a movie was playing in my head. And with the Nightingale, I gave it 4.5 stars. It was beautiful, really well written. I was so immersed in the story, and it was just a heavy hitting book. And now getting into Beartown. Beartown, I was surprised by in a good and a bad way. I don't know what I was expecting out of Beartown. All I knew is that it was a fictional story about an ice hockey team in Sweden from a small town called Beartown, and it's basically what keeps the town going and keeps the pulse of that town alive. So the concept and the summary of it was interesting to me, and actually reading it was a whole different ball game. I don't know if it was Frederick Bachman's way of storytelling. It felt like slam poetry is the best way I can describe it. There were like some sentences where it was just like bam, here's a sentence, bam, here's a sentence, and they were like banger sentences, and it would just like move on to the next paragraph. And I feel like each chapter kind of had its own theme. Like each chapter kind of opened with some sort of like introductory overlook of what the chapter kind of focused on, like what is a leader? What makes a leader? And that's literally how like he writes. It's like, what is a leader? What makes a leader? Who is a leader? How do you become a leader? Like all of those questions will all be in a same like segment of phrases, and it's just like it's weird reading it, but also like I could kind of get into this. So with that, it's my first Frederick Bachman book, and I do want to read more of his books, definitely continuing into books 2 and 3 of the Beartown series because it is a trilogy. Very interesting. And also the way Beartown kind of left off, it's enticing to want to read the second book. I gave it a 3.75 out of 5, which I feel like I'm in the minority of that because it is highly rated and very popular and very well loved. I just think at some points the writing I just could not get behind, and I was starting to like glaze over the sentences and my eyes were just like not even reading words at some points, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this book, but I did, and it was actually very worth it. So with that is the end of this reading vlog. I am literally the worst vlogger ever because I hardly took any clips of me actually reading. It's very difficult because I film on my phone, and it's sometimes hard to remember to either prop up my phone somewhere, or if I'm listening to the audiobook, I'm using my phone and can't really film while listening to the audiobook because my camera won't let me do that. So sometimes vlogs in general are just a little bit more difficult for me to film because it takes a little bit more effort, I feel like, but this one was really fun to film. I had a great time reading all the books this week. Nothing was a total disappointment. I enjoyed all of the books, some more than others, but it was a great reading vlog, and I think overall, just reading The Nightingale and Beartown, aside from Ghosted, like, come on, like, obviously I loved that book, but reading two, like, really big fiction heavy writing books, that kind of didn't really make sense. But just reading those kinds of books, especially simultaneously hey, my voice is going. Especially reading those two types of books at the same time, it was hard to kind of get a break, if you know what I mean. Like going from listening to The Nightingale, which is about World War II, to Beartown, which is about a small town that relies on a bunch of 17-year-olds to play hockey, which it doesn't sound that serious, but that book is really serious. I think it was just kind of hard there was no relief. It was kind of like bouncing from this plot to another heavy-hitting plot, and I just didn't, there was no real balance, because usually I'm like listening to like or reading a serious book and then also like getting a relief book, like a rom-com. So it's like I kind of try to keep that balance when I'm reading, just so I'm not like burnt out reading two books at the same time. So that was kind of my bad. I feel like if I read Beartown while I wasn't reading a Kristen Hanna book, I maybe would have enjoyed it a little bit more. So that's why I am enticed to continue the Beartown series. But yeah, that is the end of this vlog. Thanks to Sara Carrolli for this little inspiration and having me pick up these books, because two of them were on my 25 books to read in 2025, and we all know I was very behind on that list. So it was great to knock out two of those books and also read a book that she really loves that I hadn't read yet, because I read a lot of what she recommends. So there was Ghosted I just hadn't read yet, and I was super intrigued to read it, and I'm glad I did. But if you enjoyed this vlog, make sure to give it a like and a comment down below if you've read any of these books, and if you did or did not like them, I would love to know. And make sure to subscribe. That would be super nice of you if you did, so you can come back and see more videos of mine. The links to all my social media are down below. You can follow me on Fable and I will follow you back on Fable, and you can friend request me on Goodreads and I will accept your friend requests and be friends with you on Goodreads as well, because I want to see what you guys are actively reading in real time, and that's how you can see what I'm actively reading in real time. My TikTok is linked down below. This is if you want to see how I did this glam makeup look. I threw it on right now for a TikTok trend. You can see that I filmed that on my TikTok, and you can follow me on Instagram if you want. You don't have to. It's kind of boring. But that is all I have for you for this video, and that is all from me, and I hope to see you guys in another video soon. All right, bye. Oh, I don't do that on here. I don't kid. No, that's only on TikTok. All right. Yeah, no. Excluding that. All right. Bye.